Hello, everyone. And this week, we're going to be reading from, I printed out something from Project 2025, the social services portion. And I'm going to read it. We're going to study it this week. So, Department of Health and Human Services is Roger Severino. I guess that's the person who wrote this section. I picked this one because this is Department of Health and Human Services is really important because if you're not going to do a basic income and you're going to keep creating poverty, this is the organization that deals with impoverished people. And make no mistake, we're creating poverty. If the United States Department of Health and Human Services (HHS) were a separate country, its approximately $1.6 trillion budget would rank as the world's fifth largest national budget. For good or ill, HHS activities personally impact the lives of more Americans than do those of any other federal agency. Under President Trump, HHS was dedicated to serving, quote, all Americans from conception to natural death, including those individuals and families who face economic and social well-being challenges, unquote. Under President Biden, the mission has shifted to, quote, promoting equity in everything we do, unquote, for the sake of, quote, population sharing a particular characteristic, unquote, including race, sexuality, gender identification, ethnicity, and a host of other categories. That's a weird thing to use HHS for. What do they mean equality? What are they doing? It's supposed to be you give poor people money, basically. SNAP for food and a stipend. So I don't know, but the Democrats do things this way, always convoluted, always vague, and you always got to fill out a million pieces of paper to get anything. And if you can't read well and you can't fill those papers out and upload them to the various sites, forget about it. This is a scary thing because nobody has an answer for it. Of course, I have an answer for it. The Congress Center has an answer for it. So I shouldn't say nobody, but the people in power don't have an answer for it. But maybe they like that. Maybe they want this. Maybe they all are in on this. As a result of HHS's having lost its way, U.S. life expectancy, instead of returning to normal after COVID-19 pandemic, continued to drop precipitously to levels not seen since 1996, with white populations alone losing 7% of their expected lifespan in just 1 year. Nothing less than America's long-term survival is at stake. Accordingly, HHS must return to serving the health and well-being of all Americans at all stages of life instead of using social engineering that leaves us sicker, poorer, and more divided. First of all, you notice they only mentioned that life expectancy drop for white people because they don't see us as human. So I told you, this is a conservative paper. Conservatives see us as 3/5 human. Liberals see us as 4/5 human. And black people usually treat each other like 2/5 human. That's the way it is. Us treating each other like 2/5 is relatively new, but that's what we are. I see more black people throw away other black people for no reason other than you're making me uncomfortable or I just want to level up. It's amazing. It's amazing. HHS consists of 11 operating divisions that have varying degrees of practical independence from the Secretary of Health and Human Services and 15 staff divisions that are directly under the office of the Secretary. This chapter's recommendations are limited to those divisions that that most need reform and address wherever possible. 5 cross-cutting goals. I think that Yang said that giving everybody $1,000 a month would cost $2 trillion. So if you did a $1,400 a month to only individuals making 75,000 and under and couples making 150,000 and under, I don't think it would cost 2 trillion. I don't know. Goal number 1: protecting life, conscious, and bodily integrity. Oh, here we go. Here goes what everybody's going crazy about, I think. Let's read it. The Secretary should pursue a robust agenda to protect the fundamental right to life, protect conscious rights, and uphold bodily integrity rooted in biological realities, not ideology. So gender, and lack of and banning abortion. That's what this is about. But the thing is, are they going to help take care of these children that nobody wants? That's the thing. That means housing, mental health, and training, food and clothing. That's what it means, and maybe for their lifetimes, because you don't know what damage they're gonna to be. You want everybody to have the babies, and you're creating poverty in the society itself. So you're making poor people have babies to bring them into poverty, which grinds and destroys you. Again, I know about it. From the moment of conception, every human being possesses inherent dignity and worth, and our humanity does not depend on our age, stage of development, race, or abilities. The Secretary must ensure that all HHS programs and activities are rooted in a deep respect for innocent human life from day one until natural death. Abortion and euthanasia are not health care. Now, you people might not know, there's euthanasia in this country. I think more than one. It used to just be Oregon, but there's states now where basically, probably if you're poor and you're old, you could be euthanized. So I think it's more in terminal illnesses. But if we don't make changes soon, if we don't become more humane and sane, I could see euthanasia being spread in all 50 states, and it could be like when in the movie Foot, Soil, and Green. You get tired of living, you just go, sign up, and they give you something to put you to sleep. In that case, I would have to wait and see who's doing it to see if I would do it. But if all the savages stayed here and all the good people was like, yo, I'm just ready to rest, I think I'd be out of here. I can't take this savage shit, man. This shit is rough. A robust respect for the sacred rights of conscience, both at HHS and among governments and institutions funded by it, increases choices for patients and program beneficiaries, and further pluralism and tolerance. The Secretary must protect Americans' civil rights by ensuring that HHS programs and activities follow the letter and spirit of religious freedom. It's a religious thing. And conscience protection laws. So again, you can have gender reassigning money. You would have to pay for that yourself. And you can have abortions. Some people will say harm to the mother is an excuse. I think Trump was saying in case of incest, rape, and harm to the mother, he would say abortion should be legal for those reasons. But every state would have to figure it out for themselves, and you'd have to get out there and vote for your governors, your state senators, your state assembly people, and your mayors and your city councils. And even in New York City, we get real low voter turnout now. When I was young, man, we never got a lot nationally. I mean, this country, and maybe in New York City too, but we're like down to 15% in mayoral races. And this is an international city, one of the most important cities in the world, and 15% of people show up to vote. It's madness. Radical actors inside and outside government are promoting harmful identity politics that replaces biological sex and subjective notions of gender identity and bases a personal worth on his or her race, sex, or other identities. This destructive dogma, under the guise of equity, threatens Americans' fundamental liberties as well as the health and well being of children and adults alike. The next secretary must ensure that HHS programs protect children's minds and bodies and that HHS programs respect parents' basic right to direct the upbringing, education, and care for their children. People don't care about children in this country. This country is very hard on children. It's very hard on human beings, but it doesn't care about children. It destroys a mind, body, and soul. And if you don't believe in soul, mind, and body, we're going to come back next and read section 2, empowering patient choices and provider autonomy. That'll probably be behind the paywall, and then the next free one will be about health emergency. So again, this is Project 2025 Health and Human Services portion, and we'll see what they're going to do in the future. And even if Kamala wins, she probably won't do one of these. Well, it depends. It depends on what all her donors tell her. If her donors tell her to do this, then she'll do it. Hit the link. It's good to be back with you. Support any platform you want. I never say subscribe, like, and share, but you know to do those things if you like this content. I'm not entertaining. I'm not giving you fancy sets and all of that stuff like that. It's just information. Good information from primary sources. And life experience. 53 years in a black man's body in the plantation states of America. Until next time, please take care. Try to be safe. And take care of each other and yourself.